So I have a weird schedule, so I figure right now I would show you guys some of the other things in Eden. Of all of the apps that the Atom comes with, this is all the ones that actually have panels. Sorry about that. And as you can see, it's about half of them. This is the main panel, settings, Facebook, calculator, canvas, sniffer, meld, I see calendar, browser, and that's it. If you guys notice, I'd actually put on a matte screensaver that I had for the Galaxy S, and I don't think you guys can actually see it because although it actually helps with the glare, it was really hard to put on, and it has a weird texture to it that's actually a little more annoying than the glare. It looks like you've got water under there. The Atom itself, actually, there's something that well, here we go, switching to the tabs, not always that great, but for the most part it's pretty fluid. It's just doesn't register all the time. And to turn off Eden or pull it down, Rahan says that you should actually do that, and sometimes it works and sometimes it actually doesn't work, which I'll show you right now. A lot of times it doesn't work, sometimes it does. The best way I've found to do this is to actually double tap, go down, but if you tap too fast, it will actually click on one of the icons in the home screen, which is actually your app drawer, and the ribbon is also your app drawer. It will cycle through all the apps. One of the things you guys would probably want to notice is that when you have a screen protector on, it actually makes the screen a lot less responsive. Screen protectors on the side, not as responsive. Okay, let's see, what was I going to show you? One of the peculiarities of the Atom is the GPS works kind of weird. For some reason, it seems to think I'm in China, but in California, I was just halfway around the world. Here's Google Map. No, I don't want directions. Let's try that again. Google Maps. Okay. And press the back button. Like I said before, zoom in on it. The notification bar blocks a lot of things. It's kind of annoying sometimes. And my location. Where's my location? What? Trying to zoom in there. The vertical axis doesn't actually work that well on the Atom as opposed to horizontal. And it thinks I'm somewhere in Hongshui, Nangsong or something. It's not just Google Maps. Open source map will also do that. OSMAP took a really long time to download, and again, it thinks I'm in China when I am in California. Okay, let's see what else I wanted to show you guys next. One of the big questions that you guys had was how this thing acted in PDFs or in pixel key mode for PDF for people who tend to read a lot. So let's open up the sniffer. Sniffer. Yeah, here we are. And I actually have a micro SD slot over here, or I'm sorry, a USB, and let's open up and let's see what it looks like for PDF. First, let's try Adobe Reader, which is kind of peculiar in that it does not seem to want to display all my pages. This is the data from primary lit. This should be figures. As you can see, it's just blank. But if I go back and I use Quick Office, you will actually see it. Zoom out, and figures. It's actually pretty decent and readable right now in LCD mode, but the moment I turn it on to the pixel key mode, it's really dark, and you can still see the glare. Over here, the screensaver actually helps, but not by too much. The best way I can describe this for you is a dark Etch-a-Sketch. It's actually a lot lighter in video now than it is in real life. Pretty dark. Let me try to hold it up so you could see what it would look like. It would look something like that, but actually darker. Quite a bit darker. The text is also a bit pixelated, so it's nothing like actual letter, like PayPal, white, or a book, also white. It's a lot darker. And before I mentioned that, when you're in the browser, pinch and zoom doesn't really work that well. Alright, come on. And like I said, sometimes it doesn't really work that well. Nothing, double tap, still nothing. It doesn't come down, doesn't come up. But alright, here we go. Open up the browser. These buttons don't really work that well. Over here, the 4 touch buttons, they're not lit, kind of hard to see in the dark. Not that responsive, but they're okay. You gotta give it a little time. So let's go to Notion ink. Sorry, the ribbon. There we are. NotionInk.com. Let's go to the blog. Come on, blog. There we go. And let's pinch and zoom up and down. Just thinks I'm scrolling. Kind of gotta get it awkwardly side to side. Didn't work. Let's try to move. There we go. Has to be side to side for it to work. You go anywhere up and down and it just zooms, or it just doesn't register. And you see a force close. Those happen quite often. Let's go back and close. No, I don't want that. As far as the screen itself, it's it's not the most responsive, but it works. Just gotta be careful with the edges. With my screen, I've noticed that for the most part, the top edge and the side edges are very non-responsive. And a good way for me to show this is if I open up the paint program, open up a new one. There we go. Paint. And I'll try to paint it for you so you can actually see where it will register and where it won't. Up the size a little bigger. Now I can paint. Sometimes it actually won't register if I say hi. It's actually working quite nicely right now, but usually it's not that great. I can't really paint on the sides too well. The screen itself doesn't always work, as you can see. And when I do, it skips a large portion of the actual sides. It's not so bad on the side, but on the bottom, but the left side and top, pretty bad. There's one thing I can't catch on the camera, and that's sometimes I'll get something like a pulse that goes through the screen, where it just kind of like a static pulse. It's a little weird. I don't know how to describe it to you guys. Just exit that. And let me go ahead and show you the home screen again. Try to show you what was happening to my screen on the right side that the last one didn't show. A bit of difficulty going through there. Okay, here we go. Now, can you guys see that? Right there on the right, that white pattern. And see on the left side, it's not really there, besides a bit of light bleed, but on this side is really apparent, and I think that's water vapor getting trapped in there. The last thing I wanted to show you guys was the last time the HD video didn't work, and another member on Notion Addicts told me it was because Flash wasn't optimized for the browser. So let's try the YouTube that I sideloaded. It works a little better. I don't know if you guys can actually see it, but what happens is it's not quite HD, and the screens are a little bit blurry, like if you airbrushed it too much. And let's look for the same Tron trailer again. I'm sorry, that's a Family Guy in the background. Okay, let's see the Tron trailer. And what you're actually seeing right now is my wall reflected off of the atom, very glossy. And here it is again. You can see on the right side that defect. The trailer, try to get a good shot of it. It's a little fuzzy, and I don't know if you guys can tell, but the details aren't that great. But it runs. This should be HD, better than browser mode, but still not the best. And I guess that should be it for now.